I
Yeah.
remember when we were living together, and then around the time I was moving out is when you started getting into that, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like, what was your, did your mom, like, what inspired you to start turning down that path?
Okay. I would say for me at a young age, I was just like anyone else, right? My parents forced me to go to church. I was there. The seed was planted at a young age,
Yeah.
right? And I remember going to high school. I had influence, so they actually, right after graduating high school, they offered me a job to become the wrestling coach.
Okay.
They saw how the young men they followed me, and that they wanted to become something greater. And I didn't have much to offer. I was fresh out of high school. I
Hey,
had a
let's not mistake it. We know
yeah.
you're a wrestler. You're a good wrestler too, you
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
So
I appreciate it,
you had
bro.
something to offer, especially if you were coaching. But
hmm
you know,
For sure. But that I noticed at a young age I had influence, right? I moved out at the age of 17, but it was a mess, bro. I had my own house. I started throwing parties, drinking. I had gotten my friends hooked to their first vape.
mm,
I'd gotten my friends drunk for the first time. And I remember, bro, God gave me influence, but I was using it for the wrong things, right? So anyways, I went on to be a wrestling coach. I coached for that first year. The second year, I thought they were going to offer me a job. I was like, I'm locked in. I'm ready. You know, actually, they had said, we want you to come back when you're a little more mature.
okay.
And that crushed me. I was like,
And
"Yeah,
you were 18 at the time, you said.
yeah, I was 18. It was right after high school. And then that second year, I thought I was going to come back. I enjoyed wrestling. I enjoyed working with the young men. Not only did I work with them there, but they were like my friends.
Yeah.
So I had a relationship with them outside of the wrestling program, right? But I remember being so broken in my car, and I was just crying out, and I was like, God, like, why? Like this was my everything. This was all I knew, right? I had my job at the time, but it was healthcare.
Yeah,
Not a
and
lot of
they're not
people,
not
yeah.
super happy doing healthcare,
No, not a lot of
right?
people find their purpose in healthcare, but
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah, I remember just being broken, and I remember just a calmness came over me in my car, and God spoke to me. He said, "You're going to teach these young men greater things, right?" And I didn't start right away. I was probably going to turn 19 at that time.
Okay.
I didn't start right away going to church. I was in the world still. I was still partying. I was still drinking. Still doing what I wanted to do. Still using my influence for the wrong.
Yeah.
And you
It's
kind of saw in my life how took a drastic turn. I
yeah,
remember.
being there too, and but
Yeah.
it's low key a blessing too, because then we met.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
we ended up meeting, and it wasn't pretty at first with what we were doing, right?
Yeah.
You remember me? I was smoking. I was
Oh,
doing the wrong things too.
yeah.